Hello everyone, welcome back to Georgia Paper Crafts. Today I'm going to be working with the Spellbinders Small Die of the Month for January 2020. This is called Bold Love. It has 10 cutting dies, and as you can see, it essentially cuts out the love, the backer here, and then you can cut out the individual letters to go in there, and then you can stack them on there to make kind of this bold pattern. So it also has some other flourishes here that you can embellish in different colors. And I believe this is for the center because this cuts it out in a floral shape. This is probably just a regular shape if you don't want the floral. So I am going to use a couple of different cardstocks. I'm going to try this out with my Umber Etching Tonic Specialty cardstock. It's got this really pretty floral etching here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to use that along with some of this mirror cardstock. This is, I forgot what color, it looks like a gold. Satin Effect Honey Gold is what it's called. And then I am also going to use some mirror red cardstock and some of this pearlescent white cardstock to make it. So I'm going to go do some die cutting and then I'll put it together and we'll make a couple cards. Okay, so I started with doing all the die cutting off screen. I started by cutting out the main die, the one that gives you the positive, I guess it's a positive portion. I cut it out of that specialty paper, the brown one, and I also cut it out of some pearlized white paper. You don't see that one right now because I'm going to put that together off screen, but you'll see me make a card from it. Then I went ahead and cut out the letters, the love letters, using some gold mirror cardstock from Tonic. And as you see, I'm adhering all of this just with some glue. I'm trying to figure out how close I need to get this together. And really it goes on very easy. And as you can see, the letters kind of have a embossing of a stripe, kind of like a stripe, pinstripe embossing. It really gives it a really nice look. Now, once I'm finished with this, I decided that I did want to embellish some of the flowers and hearts around. So all the hearts that are around the side, I'm going to embellish using gold hearts. And I cut those out using some of the dies that come in the set, just some of the extra foliage dies that come in the set. It does cut out a heart and then maybe some of the leaves. I cut the hearts off of the leaf just so I could have hearts. And I'm going to put those all around over the brown hearts. As you can see, there's a lot of little die cutting and paper piecing. I think that's kind of what Spellbinders is known for, it seems like, on these dies. I do like it. I love the way they turn out, but it is a lot of work. Then I cut out some of these other flowers using some of the pearlescent white cardstock from Tonic. I'm not sure if these were meant to go over the areas where there was a same kind of flower over here or not. I couldn't get it to fit real well, but I did overlap it there and I think it looked fine. Put that one there, and there's another one that goes up here between the L and the O. Once I'm finished placing that I'm going to go ahead and put the flowers that I cut out from the same pearl white cardstock around on the top of the flowers. And I will embellish the centers with some red dots that also are cut out at the same time that you can cut this. You'll see that here shortly. And again, I stuck with all of the same cardstock that I started with. So both cards, I'm using either gold mirror cardstock, a pearlescent white cardstock, a red mirror cardstock from Tonic, or this specialty paper. I interchanged both of them so that I didn't have to pull out any other cardstocks. So here you see I'm adding the center, the red centers. I'm going to do that on the rest of them. And then I decided that I needed to probably put this center circle in on the O. Well, you'll see me do that here shortly. What I'm trying to decide here is what to put in the center of those flowers. And I didn't have any more of the red dots, so I had to die cut a couple more. But I was seeing if any of these other things, if I felt any of the other flowers or anything would look okay there. And I didn't, so I went ahead and cut out some extra red dots. And now here I'm going to place the O in the center, or I guess the center of the O, yeah. So that one is finished. Loved how that turned out. Now off camera, I went ahead and put together the other one that I made, which is the one with the back, one with a pearlescent white paper and the mirror red cardstock for the love. Here I took 2 pieces of cardstock from my stash, just some red and some brown, and I'm sorry I don't know where it's from, like if it's from any specific maker. I embossed it using a 3D embossing folder from We Are Memory Keepers. And now I'm bringing in some Distress Oxide ink. I wanted to darken up these pieces of cardstock. So I'm bringing in the color of Candied Apple here to kind of go around the edges of the red cardstock. And looking at it, it made a little bit of a difference, but it really didn't pull that color in much. So I'm going to keep going around here, but I'm going to bring in a darker color, or what I think is a darker color. I'm going to bring in, I believe this is that Barn Door? Yeah, Barn Door. And that just definitely didn't do much. So I went ahead and brought in Vintage Photo here to kind of darken up the edges. So this just really kind of darkened the edges and brought your focus into the center of this red panel. And I really liked how this looked. I thought this really did what I wanted, which was to put a kind of spotlight onto the center of the red cardstock. You can see here, I'm going to show you how it's going to look. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my surface, and then I'm going to start on the brown. So the brown, I'm going to start with the Vintage Photo and go around the edges. And kind of the same way with this. I thought that the Vintage Photo didn't deepen the brown as much as I wanted, so I knew I was going to have to bring in another color to kind of help bring that out a little bit. And so this is Ground Espresso, and this definitely darkened it up. Again, darkening up the edges, leaving the center light as to put a focus on, almost like a spotlight on the middle, even though the die cut piece is going to go right in there. There that is, showing you how it's going to look. I'm going to bring both pieces in here, and I'm going to bring in my shimmer spritz spray here and shake it up real well and kind of give it a good spritz there on both of them to kind of put some shimmer onto the cardstock. I'm going to use a paper towel to try to pull up any of the excess moisture. And you can kind of see the shimmer that it leaves right there. Right there. Now that brown cardstock was not quite as heavy as the red one, so it somewhat warped a little bit, but it still worked out okay. Now I'm going to put a bunch of glue on the back of this die cut piece that I made. Just using some of my art glitter glue here. Try not to be too excessive. Put this right in the center. What you can see on this piece that I put together off screen is that I covered the hearts with red metallic hearts and the flowers with gold metallic flowers and white centers for those. Again, using all of the same cardstock that I pulled out for this whole project. And put some acrylic box on top just to help push that down. I'm going to do the same with the brown one. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back. Now both of these pieces are cut down to just slightly smaller than A2 size, probably about 5, yeah, just slightly smaller, and I'm not even sure if I know the exact measurements, but I cut them down just to be smaller than the basic A2 size card so that it'll leave a little bit of a white border when I do mount it onto my card. I do have pre-made card bases, white card bases, made out of heavyweight cardstock that I cut and scored and made using some stuff from my stash, some cardstock from my stash. Here you see I'm attaching the red one. And go ahead and attach the brown one. Now the brown is a little bit bigger than I had thought I had cut it, so it actually almost completely covers the whole card front. So I guess I didn't make it quite small, or make it smaller like I usually do. This one is essentially 5.5 by 4.25. So here are those two cards. Now here I am bringing in the Love You More sentiment strips from Simon Says Stamp. Now these sentiment stamps are they're printed on toner paper, so you're able to foil them. So as you can see, I cut these down and then I foiled them. So this red one here is foiled with red foil paper, and this one says "So Grateful for You." And this gold one is foiled with gold foil paper. And this one says, "I love you very much." And just trying to kind of put those right in the center and get them held down. Now here I'm showing that I've added some gems. These are the Valentine mixed gems from Pretty Pink Posh. Just kind of scattered some around the sides and in the center of the flowers. And here I used some rose gold gems. I believe, again, this is from Pretty Pink Posh, but I don't have it labeled, so I'm not sure. So, and that finishes these cards using the Spellbinders January Small Die of the Month. I love this die. I think this is great. Made some great cards, and I think I could make even more if I wanted to. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and if you want to see more from me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and let me know what you thought about these cards. I'd appreciate it so much.